What's good? What's hood? It's your boy Street, baby. Yeah. For sure. And we right back with another one. We didn't even know if it was gonna be another one. But guess what? It's another. And today we breaking down the whole Lil Wayne Birdman beef. We all heard about this over history, but we didn't know the specific details, or at least I know I didn't. But we're gonna dive into the specific details of the whole beef.
Prisoner, and so is my creativity. This was a shocking tweet sent by superstar rapper Lil Wayne in 2014, accusing his label of blocking the release of his well anticipated album, The Carter 5. And worst of all, this wasn't any old label executive screwing him over, but someone he had known since he was 8 years old and considered to be a father to him.
I always today look at Wayne as my child. I was his father when he didn't have a father.
Wayne would later claim to be scammed out of $51 million, and Birdman allegedly orchestrated something that, if successful, would have been one of the darkest moments in hip hop history.
Back in April, Lil Wayne's tour bus was attacked as he was traveling through Georgia. Performers Birdman and Young Thug have been named in an indictment.
And when you start to truly examine the
Now that right there is something that I never heard. I knew all about Thug, I knew all about Birdman, but I had never heard about the whole indictment. All this, the internet wasn't popping like that back then. So like there was no jumper or no podcast that was like lively reporting on this shit.
actions of Birdman during this period, this could easily be in contention for the biggest betrayal in music history. The fact is that whether you believe in fate or not, Birdman was extremely fortunate to have crossed paths with Lil Wayne. In 1991, a 22-year-old Birdman, also known as Baby, set up his own record label, Cash Money, in New Orleans. That same year, a rapper named Lil Slim strongly advised Birdman to check out an 8-year-old kid who could rap, and Birdman was suddenly introduced to a child prodigy.
Named Lil Slim. He from back there where Wayne from. He said, but I got this little kid, he can rap. I want you to meet him. And he just kept on. So I said, I'm gonna pull up on him. So I pull up by this record store, and he little bitty with a pick, and I just saw no fear in it.
Wayne would sign his first contract at 11 years of age. And at age 14, Wayne's stepfather, Reginald Rabbit McDonald, was tragically shot dead outside a New Orleans gas station. This forced Wayne to become the man of the house, and he was more determined than ever to make a living for music.
Living without, it wasn't enough for a nigga. I just knew I had to get it more. I knew that was mom's dependent, and that was what she depended on, so I had to take those footsteps, take those shoe sizes.
Since signing Wayne, Birdman had also become a mentor and father figure, and gradually filled the void left after the passing on of Wayne's stepfather.
Now we all know the story of Birdman stepping up being like a father figure for Lil Wayne and all that, but like we want to know the specific details of how this happened and what happened and exactly what Birdman did to Wayne. So that's what we dissecting.
I could do something different for their life.
Right.
If they go around do this shit I'm doing, they might not make it.
Right.
I just took a deep liking to him, and I was a young raising young
Right.
You know what I mean? So I must have had this vision as a
Love games, but hate the grind?
Right.
that I really can do something.
Right.
That's how I look at it.
Cash Money would grow throughout the 90s, particularly through a group known as the Hot Boys, which contained Wayne, BG, Juvenile, and Turk, who became legendary for their blend of New Orleans bounce music and gangster rap. In 1998, Cash Money signed a $30 million distribution deal with Universal Records, and in 2000, Rolling Stone magazine would dub them the hottest label in hip-hop. The article...
Now I remember this time, right? I was just a young nigga, right? But my mom's, all her and her friends and all my family was on the Hot Boys and Cash Money hard. I'm talking about Cash Money come on the radio, everybody getting hype. That's facts.
read, 5 years ago, the three men who run Cash Money Records were sharing a beat-up 1968 Impala. Now, thanks to Juvenile, BG, Lil Wayne, and the Hot Boys, they've got a fleet of Bentleys, Jags, and Cadillacs. However, shortly after their rapid rise, Cash Money would suffer a major crisis. The fact is that while the owners of Cash Money were doing extremely well, this was not the case for many of its artists, and Birdman's reputation as a ruthless businessman began to unravel. In 2001, Juvenile and BG would leave the label, and Turk would follow suit in 2002. Out of the 4 Hot Boys, Wayne was the only person left on the label, and all of his bandmates had left because of financial issues with Birdman. Speaking about his split from Cash Money during that time, Juvenile said, "You always gonna miss it because it was family, but when you find out that it's not family, it's like a stab in the back. I feel sorry for the other rappers because they don't even know what's going on, and they still over there."
You can see Birdman at the time. It's his first time getting a record deal. It's his first time actually getting some money. So like, you can see where somebody would probably might make a mistake with the money and got greedy, and you know what I'm saying. I can see that. I see.
BG would tell MTV in 2002, "Baby calls himself the Birdman, but he wants to bird feed me. It's cool. You F me over and I learned my lesson. It's time for me to move on." But instead of fleeing the sinking ship, Wayne had other ideas.
The same day it happened, Wayne came to me like, because I was in my feelings about this. Like, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. He was like, man, f them niggas, man. Right. I'm better than all them niggas together anyway. Right. That shit woke me up. Right. I said, you know what? You right. Let's
Facts. Wayne was better than all the Hot Boys.
go. And that shit turned me up. Wayne never looked back.
Just like after the passing of his stepfather, Wayne used this latest setback almost as ammunition to drive himself even further. His mixtapes The Drought and 2004 album The Carter sent him on a run that would single-handedly transform Cash Money from a label that was on life support to become one of the biggest labels in the world. As well as Wayne's talent, Jay-Z was going into retirement and Eminem was in rehab. In this context, Wayne would emerge as the most relevant rapper on the planet.
And then it seemed like there was nothing hotter than Cash Money in Wayne. Like, it was a point when Wayne carried the whole industry.
Definitely.
Like, you needed a verse from Lil Wayne.
At this point, bro, these was saying hip hop is dead.
Right. This was that time.
I'll never forget.
Dead ass. People was saying that hip hop was dead. That's why Lil Wayne came back and was like, "I am hip hop and I am alive." When he started saying all that shit, right? But yeah, back in the day, if you got a Wayne verse, you was in there. You was on. You were good.
Early 2000s.
Nas had a song or album called
Hip Hop is Dead.
And I'm looking at this, and then you got Jay-Z just announced that he'd retired from rap.
Right.
Man, Wayne, we in the car together. I'm like, man, this is what I'm gonna do. This at the height of my career. That Birdman shit was popping.
Yeah, what happened to that boy?
Yeah. Man, I'm about to stop rapping. I'm gonna let you run the company, Wayne, and I'm gonna learn the business. I ain't rapping no more. You rap, I'm gonna go learn the business so I can help you do what I'm doing for.
Right.
I'm gonna go fix it where you could be everything you want to be, and I'm gonna go learn the business. And I stopped rapping and started going to New York.
Through it all, Wayne and Birdman would become known for their father-son relationship. And sometimes this would go beyond even the conventional father-son relationship, where Wayne would be seen kissing Birdman and calling him daddy. The more innocent explanation for this is that daddy is not uncommon for grown men in the South to refer to their father.
I'm gonna be honest about this shit, right? When I heard about this initially, I wasn't fucking with Wayne no more. I was like, what? I was like, nah, Wayne, this is crazy. I thought AI wasn't even popping like that back then, but I swear to God, it was some AI or some shit, right? But it turns out this shit true, right? But we all got over it because we love Wayne eventually.
As daddy. And the innocent explanation of why they kiss is actually not that innocent at all.
Because I was in the streets, and I thought this might be the last time they ever see me.
Damn.
Because I was living like that.
Right.
So I was like, that's what that shit really started from. Because I thought that every night I leave, I might not never come back.
Yeah.
But Wayne's loyalty was unquestionably like a son would have to their own father. At some point in the 2000s, Wayne was invited to sign with Jay-Z's Rockefeller Records, but turned it down.
I know for a while Jay's been your idol, your favorite rapper. Was it tough not going on his team a while ago?
Yeah, very, very tough. It was very, very tough, but you know, I'm a lawyer.
The nigga had to pull his shades up for that to let you know he meant it. I can imagine that it would be hard to pass up Jay-Z not knowing if this shit was promising or not. You know what I'm saying? But Wayne a loyal motherfucker. His lawyer was displaced, but he a loyal motherfucker.
Dude, yeah, I mean, stick with the fam, but you know, I hope we could do something in the future with the same with my family, his fam.
Alongside all of the albums and mixtapes, Wayne would also set up his own imprint on Cash Money known as Young Money in 2005. In 2008, Wayne signed Tyga, but it was in 2009 that Young Money would really become a force to be reckoned with. In June, Wayne would sign Drake.
And then what happened was a hook came on one of his songs. I was like, that's a nice little hook. I was like, who's that on the hook? I was like, that's him. And I was like, the person on the hook is singing.
2 months later, Wayne would add another multi-million-dollar artist to Young Money.
Yeah.
All right, what about Nicki? What made you want to be in business with her?
Plain and simple, Nicki was already, when I was starting this label, when I had my label, I already knew I want someone from New York. Like plain and simple, rap, I love New York. Rap comes from New York. I need some. Never knew it would be a female.
And as strange as this sounds, signing Drake and Nicki had its downsides for Lil Wayne. In 2010, Wayne was sentenced to 1 year in prison for gun charges. And while behind bars, Drake released Thank Me Later and Nicki released Pink Friday, both of which...
I remember all this like it was yesterday. I was a sophomore in high school, and everybody just they respected the fact that Wayne brought out two titans around the same time. And they were like, damn, how this nigga find these two amazing motherfucking artists like this? And he the shit too. So like that shit stood out for forever.
Reached #1 on Billboard. When Wayne was released from prison, the hype surrounding Young Money had shifted towards Drake and Nicki, and Wayne struggled to stay relevant for a little bit. According to the music journalist Hattie Collins, you can possibly trace Wayne's demise in popularity to Drake's huge rise, which was the time Wayne was sent to prison. It seemed to kill his spirit, his creativity, and certainly his output. Perhaps he felt like he just didn't have anything to say anymore. He said it all over that 2004 to 2006 period. Suddenly, Birdman no longer really needed Wayne, and the supposed unbreakable bond between Birdman and Wayne was finally starting to unravel, and possibly the greatest betrayal.
I got another sales call, and like,
was about to unfold. During the early to mid 2010s, it looked as if Birdman had a succession plan in place for Wayne. And Wayne announced that the 5th installment of his Carter album series, Carter 5, would be his final album before retirement.
I'm so settled in my life right now. I have my kids, they're wonderful. My daughter has her career ahead of her now, and I have to focus on that, and I have to put the same focus that I put in my career.
Obviously, any rapper mentioning their retirement should be taken with a pinch of salt, and Wayne probably meant that he intended to go on hiatus. But in the lead up to this retirement, Birdman had also tried to sign Young Thug to Cash Money, who he saw as the next Lil Wayne. Young Thug felt this way too, to the extent that he planned to call his next album The Carter 6.
So check this out. When I first heard Thug, I didn't know what the hell I was listening to, right? But I knew that this dude did the best Lil Wayne impression in the world that I ever heard. He sounded just like Wayne. So when he perfected Wayne's style, like it did something to me. And ever since then, I had fucked with Thug, and I've watched him, and I've grown with Thug as he's grown.
And despite signing to a different label, Birdman would still become a mentor for Young Thug and refer to him as his little brother. However, when it came to the release date of Lil Wayne's The Carter 5 on October 28, 2014, Wayne would have to make an awkward announcement to his fans on YouTube.
Honestly, I've been working hard every motherfucking day on this album, and this album means a whole lot to me, and I know the real fans out there, it means a whole lot to them too. So I kind of refuse to cheat them. I refuse to cheat them and just give them anything rushed. And I recorded so many songs. We had to come up with an idea or a way to get all the music out there, and not just 13 songs or 12 songs.
Wayne then decided to drop the album in 2 parts.
So the first part of the album will be dropping December 9th. Again, The first part of the Carter 5 album will be dropping December 9th.
And it could have genuinely been the case that Wayne wanted to stall the album's release for these reasons. However, by the time that December rolled around, fans would be left disappointed once again. 5 days before December 9th, Wayne would drop a series of tweets detailing that his label won't let him release it. He wrote, "To all my fans, I want you to know that my album won't and hasn't been released because Baby and Cash Money refused to release it."
And this is when all the bullshit started. You know, we started hearing about it on social media, talking about how Wayne wasn't going to drop the Carter 5 and blah, 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 blah. And everybody was disappointed. And this is where all the beef began. The real money situation, the legal issues.
He then said, "This is not my fault. I am truly and deeply sorry to all of my fans, but most of all to myself and my family for putting up with this situation. I want off this label and nothing to do with these people, but unfortunately it ain't that easy. I'm a prisoner and so is my creativity. Again, I'm truly sorry and I don't blame you, fed up with waiting for me and this album, but thank you." Wayne's manager, Cortez, also sent out a lengthy Instagram post which included the passage, "Wayne carried Cash Money on his back for over 10 years when he could have left and did this on his own. The most loyal person I know on earth. He don't deserve the ish he's going through at this point in the game." Wayne,
which is 100% true. Everybody knew that Wayne was Cash Money. Like Birdman, we heard him talk, but no, Wayne was Cash Money. Whenever we heard Cash Money, we heard Wayne. Whenever we heard Wayne, we heard Cash Money. That's how it was, and that was the truth.
had presumably hoped that this would force Cash Money and Birdman to settle these issues before any more of their dirty laundry became public, but clearly none of this worked, and Wayne had to up the ante. So on January 28th, he would file one of the most expensive lawsuits.
Ever wondered what your home looks like from
history? Court documents filed by Lil Wayne's lawyers argued that Cash Money owed him $51 million in damages. Firstly, Wayne was supposed to receive an $8 million advance for the Carter 5, but had only received $2 million. Upon completion, Wayne was set to receive another $2 million, but this payment was not made. So Cash Money owed him $8 million for the Carter 5 alone. Additionally, Wayne also alleged that Cash Money had failed to pay him proper royalty rates for his recordings.
If you think about this, this is around the time when Birdman basically stopped popping, you know what I'm saying, in the hip hop scene. Like, it was only Wayne. Birdman wasn't really doing shit. We heard him talking on a couple songs, shit like that. So, like, it kind of made sense because Birdman wasn't really doing nothing like that like Wayne was. So, like, for him to take advantage of Wayne sound kind of right.
Wayne was also suing Cash Money on behalf of Young Money, and this is where things start to get very sneaky. Wayne claimed that Cash Money did not split the copyright with Young Money, but instead was all filed under Cash Money. According to the lawsuit, Young Money has also not seen its share in profits and royalties from Young Money artists, particularly Drake. In fact, the biggest issue was that Wayne had no idea how much he was supposed to be getting from the profits off Drake, and that Cash Money was hiding the accounting figures from him. And lastly, Cash Money was expected to finance Young Money with a $200,000 cash injection every quarter for overheads, and a $1 million expenses account that needed to be regularly topped up. Cash Money had not been keeping up with these payments either. So Wayne and his lawyers argued that Birdman owed Wayne $51 million. He also wanted to sever his ties with Cash Money as an artist and to separate Young Money completely from Cash Money. After this lawsuit dropped, Wayne announced that he was working on a new album, unambiguously titled The Free Weezy Album. He told Rolling Stone, "I'm working on it every day, man. I guarantee it's going to be something dope. If you don't want a musician being creative, don't get the Free Weezy album." And 50 Cent was asked his opinion on what transpired and, like many people, assumed that they would soon work things out.
I'm surprised to see Wayne going through that because of the relationship between him and Baby.
It's crazy how you never see none of G Unit together anymore. This shit, wow. It's crazy how what time does, you know what I'm saying?
And I think it'll work itself out. I hate when personal things become public because everyone speculates on things that they don't really know. I just know that they had a father-son relationship, and that could easily be something that they communicate between the two of them.
This prediction by 50 Cent could not have been more wrong. And in April that year, this dispute started to get violent. In the early hours of April 26, 2015, Lil Wayne was leaving Atlanta, having just performed at the Compound nightclub. That same night, Young Thug was performing in Louisiana and was mercilessly booed by the crowd. By this stage, Young Thug had released a mixtape named Barter 6, which is allegedly in reference to when members of the Bloods substitute the letter C with the letter B. Wayne had also allegedly threatened to sue if he named the album Carter 6. But Wayne's Atlanta show had gone off without a hitch until they were on the outskirts of the city. While driving alongside Interstate 285, two cars pulled up on the two tour buses that carried Lil Wayne and his crew and opened fire. Not much other information was released about this incident the next day, but the important thing was that nobody was harmed. Ultimately, the question on everyone's mind was, who was shooting at Lil Wayne's tour buses and why? When police were investigating this case, Wayne would release music that bypassed the clutches of Cash Money. Through Jay-Z's streaming service Tidal, Wayne released a free Weezy album on July 4th. As well as filing a lawsuit against Tidal, Birdman would allegedly throw a drink at Wayne while he was performing at Live in Miami.
That's some female shit for real. Not throwing a drink, bro.
And a few days after this Miami incident, a man was arrested in connection with the April bus shooting. And this arrest would send shockwaves throughout the music world. On July 17th, a 25-year-old man named Jimmy Carlton Winfrey was arrested over the shooting of Lil Wayne's tour buses. Prior to the incident, Winfrey had allegedly made a phone call to a number owned by someone named Jeffrey Williams, who's better known as Young Thug. After the shooting, Winfrey then called a number owned by Brian Christopher Williams, who's best known as Birdman. So within this indictment for the potential murder of Lil Wayne was Birdman's name. Winfrey.
That's crazy. I had never known those details. As long as I've known about the whole Birdman Lil Wayne beef, I never knew none of that. That shit amazing.
Who also went by the name Pee Wee Roscoe and was a member of Young Thug's YSL crew, which is also allegedly a set of the Bloods. It would be difficult for Young Thug to deny that he knew this person, as he appeared in the music video for Young Thug's track Halftime. And 5 days before the incident, Young Thug posted something on social connected to this case.
On April 21st, Young Thug posted a threat, allegedly, this is according to the new indictment, posted a threat to Lil Wayne on his Instagram account. 5 days after that threat was posted, Jimmy Winfrey, this alleged shooter, allegedly shot at Lil Wayne's tour buses. Police are saying that Winfrey carried out the threat that Young Thug had issued.
At the same time, both Birdman and Young Thug were named in the indictment, but not charged with anything. The indictment does not prove that either Birdman or Young Thug were callers on either phone call, but could simply be company phones they owned that were being used by someone else.
I'm gonna be 100. The niggas got lucky right there. They got lucky that Cash Money was so big that they could even, you know what I'm saying, hide behind the shit like that.
Free could have equally carried this off on his own bat too. Another important detail is that Pee Wee Roscoe had attended Wayne's concert that night and had gotten into an argument with him earlier in the night. So instead of a carefully planned hit on Wayne, this could have been more of a spur-of-the-moment shooting. And the police did a pretty lousy job of protecting Wayne. Apparently, they knew something was going to kick off, so Wayne was given a police escort, but left the tour buses on their own once they were outside of the jurisdiction of Cobb County, which was exactly when the shooting occurred. In an interview with Angie Martinez, we would see one of the rare accounts of Birdman speaking about his feud with Wayne. She first asked about the lawsuit.
So then if Wayne says, I want off and I want $51 million.
Whatever he wants, I give it to him.
So you're going to give him $51 million?
He wants it.
He does want it. He filed a suit. He's saying he wants it.
It's got more to that.
What do you mean?
It's more to that. I don't feel like I owe him $51 million. I just gave him $100+ million contract with $60-70 million up front. I don't feel the same way his attorney is saying he feels.
Then Birdman was asked about the bus shooting and being named in the indictment.
Like the craziest I've ever heard in my life.
That you would want to send somebody to Wayne.
I'm passionate about my family, my kids, and my life. Nothing means more to me. I was born without parents in an older house. My children mean the world to me. Ain't no way in the world. You crazy if you think that.
I could see him doing that shit just to scare him or some shit, but he didn't plan on him getting hit or nothing like that. Like, I see him doing that shit just to scare him, shake him up. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't tripping, you tripping.
Young Thug would also be questioned on the indictment, and in an interview with GQ, he was asked, plain and simple, did you try to have Lil Wayne killed? And his response was simply, F no. However, in the coming months, further information would come to light that would only make Birdman look even worse. By October, Wayne had gathered more information about the shady operations behind Cash Money Records. Drake's and Tyga's reps claimed to have been missing funds, as did Nicki's producers. And in November, Pee Wee Roscoe pled guilty to shooting up Wayne's tour bus and was given a 10-year prison sentence. According to TMZ, Pee Wee Roscoe said in court documents that he should not be held solely accountable for the shooting, when Birdman's financial dispute with Lil Wayne is what ultimately led to the shooting. Birdman should be held liable as a party to the crime.
That's crazy because, Brody, you got shot. You got caught shooting. They didn't get caught shooting. Then they might have played a part. Could have been like murder for hire, but you still did it. So you gonna get what you gonna get, homie.
And ever since Wayne's album had been blocked, he received a lot of support from other artists.
The industry made me feel like, boy, you better not stop. Boy, you better not hold your head. You know what I mean? You better not hold your head down. You are who you are, and you still gonna do what you do regardless. And
Wayne had also been so generous with upcoming artists that they felt they owed him in their support too.
that came from doing all those damn features years ago. Those same artists, even if it's not those same artists, trickle down to artists that came from them. They notice he need help and he's in a bad place. So they notice he can't put out an album, but he damn sure can get paid if I ask him to do this feature.
And Birdman would become a figure of fun, as evidenced by Trick Daddy's November interview on The Breakfast Club.
I've done business with Birdman. Some are good and some is bad. I just think when you try to be a CEO and you try to be a rapper and you try to be a ladies' man and you try to be a girlfriend and you try to be
a girlfriend,
a Crip and a Blood.
You trying to be a girlfriend?
Why you call
Tripping out over the girlfriend shit. I ain't never heard that. I'm tripping out.
I don't know. That's what they said.
Oh, you mean like
I'm like DJ Khaled. I got it from the streets.
On the same show later that year, Rick Ross would also show solidarity with Lil Wayne.
I'm supporting Lil Wayne right now, just because, not about the black and white, what's on the contracts, because you know how we play, but just on the way things transpiring. You dig? I don't respect that.
But in one of the strangest turns of events ever, Drake would hold a New Year's Eve party with both Wayne and Birdman pictured together. Wayne and Birdman were back on speaking terms, but Wayne was still suing Birdman. In March of 2016, Wayne would file another lawsuit against Universal for unpaid royalties. According to the lawsuit, Universal was using royalties earned by Young Money artists to offset Cash Money's debts. Birdman had clearly been so frustrated with this public perception that in April, he made his infamous appearance on The Breakfast Club. Birdman tried to intimidate Charlemagne, who held his own, and asked if he similarly pulled up on Trick Daddy and Rick Ross.
Did you pull up on Ross that way or Trick Daddy? Yeah.
Put some respect on my name. You hear me?
I'm pulling up on you, Nick.
Yeah, I'm the radio guy. Why pull up on the radio guy? Don't act tough with the radio guy.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
In September, Wayne alleged that out of a $100 million deal with Universal, Birdman had spent $70 million. This was supposedly spent on marketing, recording, and royalties, but Wayne asked to see the books. Birdman's lawyers apparently handed over 22,000 pages of records. And in November, the bus driver from the lawsuit would file a lawsuit against Birdman, Young Thug, and Pee Wee Roscoe, and sought damages for the emotional distress behind the incident. By 2017, some of the drama had died down, only to be reignited once again by Rick Ross. Ross released the song Idols Become Rivals, and essentially called out Birdman on his shady behavior. And Ross also highlighted that Wayne is not the only person who Birdman owes money. Producers like DVLP, Bangladesh, Jim Johnson, and Diesel. Play and Skills are all producers that had payment issues with Birdman and probably couldn't afford the same high-quality lawyers that Lil Wayne had been using. In the song, Ross raps, "I pray you find the kindness in your heart for Wayne. His entire life he gave you what there was to gain. I watched this whole debacle, so I'm part to blame. Last request, can all producers please get paid?" Ultimately, Birdman, who regularly talked nonstop about his wealth, had allowed this financial dispute with his so-called son to last over 3 years. And thankfully, in June of 2018, one of the ugliest lawsuits in music history had finally come to an end. Birdman paid an undisclosed amount to Lil Wayne, but believed to be well over $10 million. This was not an out-of-court settlement either, and was money Birdman had to pay. Shockingly, that year, Pee Wee Roscoe would have his guilty verdict overturned on a technicality where the judge was unlawfully involved in the plea deal and placed undue pressure on his guilty verdict. And in August, Birdman and Wayne would be back on stage together.
Damn, bro, it feels amazing, bro. To be home, bro.
No, I would have had to wait on that 51 million, or you would have had to match that shit. I'm just saying. Real talk.
With my son, I love that nigga to death. I don't know what y'all know, but I know what the fuck I know, and I know how I feel about what I know. I knew this day was gonna come, but I didn't know when it was gonna come.
And with the Carter 5 released that September, you would love to imagine this as a beautiful sunset moment for Wayne and Birdman. However, as part of the bus driver's lawsuit, new evidence would come to light involving Birdman and Roscoe. In October, an audio conversation was leaked between the two.
You come out here and get this money. Well, my nigga, you done blessed. You done did everything you could do, bro. It's an eye opener, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're on that strictly business, man.
This conversation continued to sit in the gray area where there's not enough to conclude that Birdman was guilty, but definitely not a good look for Birdman to be speaking with him. Similarly, Young Thug's YSL trial would look into the shooting, but not find anything conclusive. That being said, there doesn't seem to be a great
Damn, I didn't know the YSL trial included that shooting.
A cloud hanging over the relationship between Birdman and Lil Wayne. In 2023, Lil Wayne invited Birdman on Young Money Radio and had a conversation which sounded like something between two good friends.
How you, man?
What's up, Moolah?
I'm Booling. How you, good?
You already know.
Yeah.
You could romantically view this as the ultimate example of families sticking together, or it could be one of those feuds where they have so many mutual friends that it makes sense just to keep the peace.
Yeah. Of course. As always, I appreciate you for rocking with me. It's been smooth. It's been beautiful. All constructive criticism is accepted. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that. Street Baby out.